Bryce here with another lot party quick tip. So May was supposed to really strong used car wise. It looks like ahead of last year. It looks like ahead of April. But again, trends are still showing a little bit of a slowdown. I'm going to bring this up over here on Facebook. Anybody want to comment as I go? Again, these will be on YouTube. Please subscribe and podcasts. So any podcast, please subscribe there. But, one of the things that you got to look at right now, grosses are great. Everybody's paying stupid money for cars and still willing to, at least for a little while here. I think the biggest challenge is going to be, 2 to 3 years. Think about this. With new cars being low in supply, that means there's going to be less lease cars. Less lease cars will be turned in 3 years from now, right? And then you got to figure in and calculate in all the deals that are being bought right now. If the market stabilizes, new cars increase over the next 12 to 18 months as supply starts hitting that market, and if there's a pent up demand for the people that are new car buyers that won't buy used. Now, at that point in time, they should be able to lease well. Residuals should hold fairly well. But then used cars values obviously start dropping. Then you got to start worrying about these people that bought. Maybe it's not the first choice of cars because they needed something. So they bought maybe the used instead of new, or they bought the trim or package that they didn't necessarily want because it was the only one available. So, 2-3 years from now, maybe a year, 2-3 years from now, people are going to be trying to trade in these cars. And there's going to be is there going to be a huge inequity situation where customers are going to be buried? Now, then that's going to lead into huge incentives. And that's kind of like the period that we've seen after the recession, 08, 09, as the dealerships incentives got bigger and bigger and bigger. And so I think those incentives will have to be there to help maybe get people out of sticky situations. Even new cars, people are paying sticker plus for these new cars if they want to get out of these cars in 2 or 3 years. So what ultimately is this gross going to cost the industry 2-3 years from now, when new car supplies should be normalized, or obviously should be, depending on any other things that could happen right now, who knows? But supply should be back on new cars. You're going to have people trying to trade in both the new cars they bought now and or used that they bought, and that inequity is going to be there. So then if the incentives got to be there to eat that up and to get new car momentum, maintain new car momentum, then obviously it's a trickle-down effect on used car values. And then again, we're going to be stuck holding these back of all these great deals we've done. We can't maybe get anybody back into cars again. So not that I'm telling you to minimize your gross on cars right now, but obviously you just got to understand the impact of this. Now, the hard part is, as car people are, as I am, we deal with it now, and we don't necessarily try to look at and speculate what's going on in the future. And we're just worried about closing out this month. And I'm sure everybody had a strong May. This might not be the best day to post a video as far as getting attention on June 1st, but hopefully everybody had a good May, strong, close it out strong. Hopefully they position their inventory to be set up well in June, because again, we're seeing day supply metrics increase, even though market day supply is still good. I was just looking at a dealer I'm helping on price changes. It's still in the 60s, but it was in the 40s just 30 days ago. So market day supply is going from 40 to 60. That's a big shift. That's a 50% slowdown essentially. So hopefully you set up your June. Hopefully your middle bucket is maintained at 25% or less, because if not, you could be hurting a little bit in June and going into July with some aging problems. That's currently the situation with this dealership right now. They bulked up a lot of cars in May. We had a little bit of a middle bucket bleed through, but also they wanted to hold out for the holiday season and see how the volume goes. And so those cars tipped over, and we're in the 30% values in that middle bucket. So I did a bunch of price changes today to start moving that middle bucket back down to 25% or less, so our June stays clean. Now, again, keep in mind, these guys have over 400 used cars on a lot, and I know a lot of people would be jealous and would love to have that on their lot. But again, what are these deals going to cost us? So as you have to start maybe adjusting to a slower market, maybe pricing has to align more to where it used to be, and it's going to be tough because you pay top dollar for these cars. Just remember, you always want to be positioning yourself for the next move. Obviously, when I'm talking about tips and things to do in June with used car inventory, I'm hoping that you're doing these to position yourself for a better July for your next 30 days forward. We don't look 30 days back. But also, you got to really position yourself for the year, 2 years down the road. What are we doing to the industry as these people are getting buried in these cars, as the market at that point in time should be corrected? So be concerned about that. Nothing that you can necessarily do about it right now. Obviously, you got to sell the cars for what you can sell them for, make the gross that you can, but just realize, man, 3 years from now, it could be another tricky situation as these people are trying to get out of these cars. New cars trying to build up what they lost over the last year or two. So it could be weird. But I just want to put this out there because, again, 3 years from now, we don't want to sit there and go, what the heck's going on? This is what's caused it, if that does happen. I hope this tip was helpful, or at least some insight on the market. We do have some great CBT News interview. Tommy Gibbs, matter of fact, we're going to make it a 2-part session. It was a good interview with Tommy Gibbs that'll be coming out Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern time this Thursday. And I'll be setting up some other interviews. So it was a good Tommy Gibbs session. If you'd like a free demo, see what we can do to help you stay ahead of this shifting market, go to lotpop.com. And hope you guys had a great May and starting out June strong.